All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we are continuing our discussion on dot product of vectors. Specifically in this video, our goal is to be able to use the dot product to find length. All right, use the dot product to find length. So take a look at what the question says here. It says use the dot product to find the length of the vector, to find the length of the vector. Well, basically, this is just understanding. Do we recognize that when we take the vector, all right, of u, going back to our properties that we have up here, if we take our vector of u and go ahead and square it, this is going to end up producing our magnitude, if you will, or the magnitude squared. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can represent this. So we know that the magnitude of this case of u would end up being the square root of u times u, right? That makes sense because if I did u times u, or the dot product of u, that would end up being the magnitude squared. So if I square rooted both sides, that's how I came up with this result. So that means let's go ahead and find out what that magnitude is actually going to end up being. So the magnitude, of course, is going to end up being the same thing as we saw before, 4 negative 3. But look at how this is represented with the dot product. Wouldn't you agree that doing exactly what we did before, where we just squared the two x component, or the x component and the y component, would be the exact same thing as this dot product here? Because isn't the dot product just going to end up being 4 times 4 plus negative 3 times negative 3? And that's exactly what we were doing before with our magnitude formula. We just took the x component squared and the y component squared. That's all that we're showing here in this video, is the relationship between the dot product and finding that magnitude.